What if I don't know where I'm going? What if I'm doing the work, showing up, handling what's in front of me? But I still can't explain exactly where this is leading. For a lot of men, that feels like failure. It feels embarrassing. It feels like letting people down. Because everybody wants a clear answer. Everybody wants the plan. Everybody wants to know what happens next. And when you can't give them that, it can make you feel like you're doing something wrong. Welcome to Exhausted Dad Show. Documentaries for men running on empty who still want to become better men. Real research, real perspective. One thing to do, today or tomorrow. What if I don't know where I'm going? Let's say this clearly. Not knowing is not the same thing as failing. Sometimes not knowing simply means you are in a space you have never been in before. That matters, because uncertainty does something to the body. The American Psychological Association has described uncertainty as that gut-wrenching feeling of not knowing something you really want to know. And it notes that uncertainty itself can be highly stressful. So if you feel ashamed, foggy, on edge, or like your mind keeps running because you don't have a clean answer yet, that does not automatically mean you're wrong. It may mean your nervous system is reacting to uncertainty. And that reaction is real. There is also real psychology behind why this gets so loud. Research describes intolerance of uncertainty as a factor that contributes to anxiety and health anxiety, meaning some people struggle more when life is unclear, incomplete, or unsettled. So, when you say, "I feel shame because I don't know," that makes sense. But sense does not mean truth. Because the truth may be this: you are not failing. You are in new airspace. And when you are in new airspace, you do not always have enough information yet to name exactly what is happening. That does not make you lost. It makes you unfamiliar. And unfamiliar can feel a lot like danger if you don't understand what's happening. That's why the pilot analogy matters. A pilot still matters, but flying depends heavily on instruments, procedures, and systems that tell the crew where they are and what phase of flight they're in. The FAA's rules define takeoff and landing as critical phases of flight, and FAA materials note that takeoff and departure are a major accident phase in general aviation. In normal language, the pilot does not control the whole sky. The pilot trusts the instruments, handles the critical phases, and flies the next phase well. That's your life right now. You may not have the whole map, but that does not mean you have no information. You have evidence. You have movement. You have signs that something is changing. You just may not have enough familiarity yet to call it by name. And that is where a lot of men start turning on themselves. They say, "If I were really doing well, I'd know. If I were really leading, I'd have the answer. If I were really building this right, I'd be able to explain it better." Sometimes the most honest thing a man can say is, "I know something is changing. I just don't fully know what to call it yet." That is not weakness. That is transition. And transitions are hard because the old version of your life no longer fits, but the new version has not fully settled yet. That's why the fog shows up. Not because you are stupid. Not because you are lazy. Not because you are fake. Because you are in between what was familiar and what is becoming true. And if you don't understand that, you can try to force clarity too early. You can start making panic decisions. You can start over-explaining. You can start promising things you don't really know yet. Or you can start feeling like you should quit just because you cannot see far enough. That is not the move. The move is not to clear the whole fog tonight. The move is to clear the next 3 steps. That's it. Not the whole year. Not the whole identity. Not the whole career. Not the whole marriage. Not the whole future. Just the next 3 steps. Because uncertainty gets louder when you demand total clarity all at once, and it gets quieter when you return to what is knowable. What do I know? What is in front of me? What is the next move? What are the next 3 steps? That is how you navigate fog. Not by pretending the whole sky is clear, by learning how to move safely in limited visibility. And that is not failure. That is skill. That is leadership. That is maturity. Because some seasons are not seasons for certainty. They are seasons for instruments. They are seasons for paying attention. They are seasons for trusting what is actually in front of you instead of demanding the whole ending right now. So, If you feel ashamed tonight because you don't know where you're going, hear this clearly. You may not be lost. You may be in new airspace. And new airspace requires orientation, not self-hatred. That brings us to the one thing to do tonight. Tonight's move, clear the next 3 steps. Say this out loud. I do not need the whole map tonight. I just need the next 3 steps. Then name the next 3 steps only. Not 10, not 50, 3. Because your job tonight is not to solve your whole life. Your job tonight is to stop punishing yourself for being in a place that is still becoming familiar. So hear this again. Not knowing is not the same as being wrong. Sometimes it means you are doing something new enough that certainty has not caught up yet. That's okay. Fly the next phase. Clear the next 3 steps. And let the fog stay fog until it has enough time to open. Subscribe to Exhausted Dad Show for more real research, real perspective, and one thing to do today or tomorrow.